So, good evening, everyone. MaaziEzeoke once more speaking to you. Today, Wednesday, the month of July is coming to an end. It is a wonderful day today, and I'm here in the studio. And today we are going to be looking at Akuluouno, the Igbo philosophy, the concept of bringing back your wealth home. Now, this evening, to join me, I have here Chief Okwudili Ijezie, and I would bring him now in the studio. Good evening once more. As I said at the beginning, I have here with me Chief Okwudili Ijezie Ite Ozobulu. You're welcome to the studio.
Thank you so much. It's my pleasure.
Thank you. So may we know who, the whole world is watching you right now. May we know who Ite Ozobulu is?
Good evening once more. Ite Ozobulu is my traditional title. My name is Okwudili Ijezie. I am from Ozobulu, Umudunu to be exact, Umudunu Ozobulu in Anambra State, Nigeria. I am a chartered accountant, and I qualified in 1985 when I was working with the firm of Pricewaterhouse, now known as PricewaterhouseCoopers, the foremost accounting firm in the world. I'm happy to be on this stage, and by the grace of God, the chief administrator of Akuluouno Think Home Forum, which was founded on Saturday, June 13, 2020. That's in a brief who Ite Ozobulu is.
Okay.
I live in Lagos.
So, you stay in Lagos. Okay. Now, sir, can we, we've been hearing about the concept of Akuluouno, the Think Home philosophy. If we remember in the 80s, early 90s,
Sorry, there's a little problem. I get it sorted out in a second.
Okay. So once more, I think he's going to get this. I think there are some technical issues, obviously. That will be sorted out, and I will bring him back. So I wanted to ask him a question, which is going to be linked to what you all know as the Think Home philosophy. Okay. So are you back now? Yeah. Are you back? Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you smiling now.
Okay. So my question to you was basically, can you hear me? I think you can hear. Can you hear me, right? Or the headset? Okay. So I think it's still having some issues now. Let me bring him back again and see if he can hear me better. Can you hear me better now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Sorry about the interruption.
Okay. It's fine. So now, my question to you was, in the 90s, we had the former governor of Anambra State, Dr. Chukwuemeka Ezeife, who championed the concept of Akuluouno. In your thinking, how would you define, what does Akuluouno mean in your worldview?
You say, what does Akuluouno mean?
Did you get my question?
Yeah, yes, but the last one, I didn't get it.
What does Akuluouno mean? In your worldview, what does Akuluouno mean?
Okay, I got it right now. Akuluouno actually is an Igbo word, or word, Aku, means money, lue, travel, honor, home. So it means Akuluouno means actually let your wealth go home, go back home. That's why when we structure the name, we call it Akuluouno, Think Home. What are we saying? We are saying that Igbos are majorly live in the diaspora outside the southeast region of Nigeria. Many of us live in Lagos, in Abuja, and offshore, South Africa, United Kingdom, United States, etc. And the developments, Igbo people, anywhere they go, they like to set up their home there. So the development, because we are migrants as it were, we move around, we don't stay in the southeast. We go out and develop other people's home lands. Lagos is estimated that about 50%, if not more, of buildings in Lagos are owned by Igbos. In Abuja, I guess it's up to 75–80%. Even in South Africa, during the xenophobia attacks, it's majorly Igbo people that are being attacked. So what we are saying is that the Igbos should have a reverse movement coming down to Southeast, Ala Igbo, as it were, to come and contribute to its development. We are not saying you should live wherever you are living. I'm living in Lagos. We are not saying everybody should migrate home. No, we are saying your investments should migrate home. And we have a vision that by 2025, 5 years from today, new investments by Ndigbo, at least 80% of it should be in Southeast. So we are not, people shouldn't misunderstand us that we are asking Igbo people to collapse all their investments outside Igbo land and go home. No. What we are saying is that gradually, from now to 2025, at least 80% of new investments by Ndigbo should be in Southeast. We have to develop our place because if not, nobody will develop it for us. We are marginalized by a lot of governmental agencies. But if we develop our place, it will be livable. And I believe a lot of us will eventually migrate home physically to live in Southeast. That's my view of Akuluouno. And that is the view of Akuluouno Think Home Forum, which I represent.
Okay. So is there, what are the things that have actually led to this, to this pushing of these ideas? Are there, experiences that you probably had or with others that had led to the pushing of this concept of Akuluouno? What are the experiences?
This concept of Akuluouno, a couple of days ago, because we have a forum, Akuluouno Think Home Forum on WhatsApp. A couple of days ago, somebody said that Chief Ezinifite is the initiator of Akuluouno. Ezinifite is a professor, Harvard professor that was governor of Anambra State, I think between 91 and 93. Now, when he was in governor of Anambra State, he had this thinking of Akuluouno. But personally, from my own viewpoint, from my own person, the dream has been with me before 2009. Because when I launched my foundation, Okwudili Ijezie Foundation, in 2009, April 2009, a Saturday, and it was flagged off by the then Minister of Finance, Dr. Mansur Mutar in Ozobo. One of the papers I presented, because I used the occasion to carry out a lecture called Omo Kachie Inaugural Lecture in honor of my late father, Chief J.N. Ijezie Ichi Omo Kachie of Ozobo. One of the 4 papers presented that day was on entrepreneurship and think home. And it was presented by an MBC friend of mine, Professor G.U.K. Chima, on April 11, 2009. So Akuluouno has been with me before then. I've been thinking home. I've stayed in Lagos since September 1, 1983, when I joined the firm of Pricewaterhouse Chartered Accountants after my youth service. But Igbos have to think home. So I have been nurturing the idea, but because I was working in my firm, which I set up in January 1994, Okwudili Ijezie and Co. Chartered Accountants. The money, the war chest, wasn't there as it were. So I was concerned about taking care of my family first. But sometime last year, when I thought I have reasonable time and wealth, I now decided that the Akuluouno philosophy will come back. Oruku Town in Lagos, their meeting They invited me first Sunday of May 2019 to give them a talk on Akuluouno Think Home. After that talk, lecture, I was so motivated that there is no way other than to think home. Come June 13 this year, one of my good friends, Engineer Sir Chris Okoye, discussed about me, something relating to that. And I now decided I will set up a forum, and I did set up a forum that day, a WhatsApp forum. And members of the forum are the who is who in Igbo land. I wouldn't want to mention the names now, but the point is that it was so well received that I was thinking, blaming myself, why did it take so long to get to this point?
But you have already explained probably why it took long. You said it because you were taking care of your family. So
yeah,
some people will think, people start thinking home when they are getting to the age of retirement. Now, would you want in any way blame yourself for not doing what you're doing now in terms of the think home philosophy maybe 20 years ago when you were more active? Would that have been a distraction then?
I will be turning 60 by Monday, August 17, next month. So 20 years ago, you are talking about year 2000. No, it would have been too early for me to have started thinking home then. But like I said, I started thinking home before 2009, which made me to do a lecture and was talking about Akuluouno Think Home. And the lecture actually then was called Entrepreneurship and Think Home.
Okay.
One wouldn't, when you are struggling literally as it were, you wouldn't be thinking of giving back to society. But when you have reasonably gotten to some level, giving back to society will be part of your values. So I started thinking of giving back to society actually after attaining the age of 40 in year 2000. And giving back to society is like in my bloodstream as it were, because my father, Ichiomo Okache, was giving back to society before he died. He started giving back to society when we were even small. So it's a matter of mindset. When do you give back to society? Do you give back to society when you are still struggling? My answer is no. You have to be imbibing the culture. But when you are reasonably comfortable and have taken care of your household, trained your children, amongst other things, yes, the surplus money you can now devote to giving back to society. So that informed my founding Okwudili Ijezie. Blakey, anyway, is my pet name. He's a great mathematician. When I was in CKC on 1976, my colleagues and doing higher school, they said, "Oh, you're a whiskey in additional mathematics," and named me Blakey. And that name has stuck till date since 1976. So when I founded my foundation, I named it Okwudili Ijezie Foundation. April 11, Saturday, 2009 was a flag off. And then I was reasonably comfortable to take on a foundation and give back to the society. But I'm taking it on a higher pedestal now.
Okay. So thank you very much for that answer. But you know, the answers you've given me reaffirms the belief that the youth do have when people talk about think home philosophy. They think home is for the elderly. I mean, by your answers now, you're basically reaffirming it that when someone is struggling, it doesn't matter, that person probably doesn't think of giving back or having that kind of philosophy to, invest at home, because there might actually not be any fund to actually invest at that stage. Imagine someone who is 35, between the ages of 30 to 35, 45, probably does not have enough fund to invest at home. Now, how do you, knowing what you know today, how do you intend to incorporate whatever you are doing in the Akuluouno think home philosophy to get the youth to join? Because whatever we do, we must get the youth involved. What is it that you're doing to incorporate youths in your activities?
Thank you. Let me go back to what you asked initially, that I taught home when I was reasonably comfortable. A truism as it were. But you need to understand that when I was growing up, a lot of the facilities, a lot of governmental facilities, etc., and even corporate organizations, we are located then in Lagos. So I had to migrate from Onitsha, where my parents were living, Anambra State, to Lagos to take a job in Pricewaterhouse. And after the job, I had to enter into a couple of banks, All State Trust Bank, Zenith Bank, before I founded my own firm, Okwudili Ijezie and Co. Chartered Accountants, in January 1994. But coming back to your question, Akuluouno Think Home Forum is what we are actually thinking is humongous. We have set up committees numbering 18, and the committees are departmentalized. We have several committees. One of them is youth and governance. We want to incorporate the youth into what we are doing, so that they see what we are doing and we will hand over to them. There are several other committees. Akuluouno is in the next 5 years, we are thinking of massive, out of this world agricultural revolution in Southeast. And by Southeast, we equally include the Delta-speaking Igbos and the Rivers-speaking Igbos. The other day, Amechi from Ikwere, Rotimi Amechi, the current Minister of Transport, did say that Ikwere is an Igbo land. And the Wike is and Amechi are from Ikwere. Even Odele, the former governor of Rivers State, Peter Odele. So when I say Southeast, I'm not limiting it to the 5 states of Southeast. I'm limiting it to all the Igbo-speaking areas. The Southeast, Delta-speaking Igbo, River State-speaking Igbo, and some of the other ones. Some people say even some Kogi people and some Cross River Akwa are equally Ndigbo. But we are not forcing anybody to join us. They should join us on their own. But what we are doing is for the Ndigbo. And like I said, the agricultural revolution we are planning is actually taking up by next month, August. We have a committee headed by Agriculture and Agricultural Financing Committee, headed by a good friend of mine, Ray Isiadinso. He is currently the national president-elect of animal science of Nigeria, amongst other things. So we are hinging on him to take us to that route. We have a lot of other committees. We have education, we have banking and finance, we have media and communication, and internal security, internal affairs. Internal affairs will be in charge of the security of Ndigbo going forward. We are not yet thinking about a similar thing like Moteku, because our job is different. We are private sector oriented. Okay. So we will leave the government, the governors forum of a Southeast, and I think they've already started doing it, to be in charge of the security. But on our own, we have an internal affairs committee that would probably coordinate and collaborate with the one to be set up by the government. So the youth are involved in what we are doing. And again, on the youth, we have a committee we call Engineering Mentorship Training Committee. The committee is for engineers in their 20s and possibly early 30s. We have congregated them, and they are being taught for the next 1 year about engineering, so that by next year, when the manufacturing companies start coming to Igbo, to Southeast, we have a ready-made, in quote, engineers who have already been imbibed on what to do. So those people won't be getting their staff, assuming if they are coming from America or Europe, they shouldn't be bringing their staff to Igbo. They will come in, and we have engineering people already trained for such a thing. So we are tagging along the youth with us.
Okay, so that was the clarity. Yeah, it's fine. That was the clarity I wanted to get from you. I wanted to get
great.
concrete clarity what, how you're carrying the youths along. Now you have clarified that. That's fine. Now my next question to you, sir, is can you give us more concrete what exactly that you are doing to achieving these, obviously the aims, the objective that you've laid out? What are those concrete steps? You've mentioned that you have committees. Aside the committees, what are the plans? Do you have any plan to interface with the government? What are the interface model that you intend to bring on board to interface with the private sector? Obviously, it is a cumulative thing. You can't drive it alone.
For now, in all sincerity, we have no plans to interface with the government. But we are willing that if the government needs our assistance, our technical and professional expertise, they can come to us. But for now, it's a entirely private sector driven. We are interfacing with our colleagues in diaspora, and they are enthusiastic about what's happening. They have actually asked us to speed up, but I told them no. That my mentor, Warren Buffett, one of the richest Americans, investors in the world, says that you can't have a child within 1 month by impregnating nine women. Certain things have to take its course. Like I said, we just got founded on June 13, 2020, barely 40-something days ago. And we are even in the process of, because it's an NGO, we are in the process of registering the organization. Right now, we have gotten the name reserved at the Corporate Affairs Commission, the organization parastatal in charge of registration of companies, including NGOs. We are applying as an NGO, non-governmental organization. And one of the requirements is that we should publish in the newspapers, 2 national newspapers, our objectives and the names of our proposed trustees, and they give people 30 days to object to it or not. We have done that. So we are really at our formation stage now, and we will really kick off sometime in August when we must have been formally registered. Right now, we don't have a bank account, amongst other things. We don't intend to link up with the government. But like I said, if the government sees us as a group that has expertise, has the wherewithal, has the experience to assist them in any of their engagements, we will certainly do that. My deputy, because I'm the chief administrator, I'm going to be, when the trustees are registered, I'm going to be the chairman of the Akuluouno Think Home Dream or Think Home Project. But my deputy is Barrister Obiora Nzewi. He is based in Onitsha. He graduated from the University of Nigeria, Enugu campus, law faculty in 1980. We are talking about 40 years ago. So we have put him there that at any time the government wants to have an interface with us, he will be the person who will be our representative to the government, because he's a lawyer, 40 years, amongst other things. And basically, for now, he's based in the southeast, in Onitsha. But I will be joining him in the southeast later in the year or early next year. I will equally relocate back to Onitsha, because back to the east, my village of Zoblo, because you can't run certain things from diaspora. Lagos to me is diaspora because it's outside our enclave, the southeast. So, but notwithstanding what I've just said, Ohanaeze Ndigbo, headed by Dr. Nyanwodo, I called him about 3 weeks ago, intimating him of a forum like this. He applauded it. Recently, he set up a 50-man team to articulate how development in Igbo in Southeast will be done. 50 man, they are at the articulation level now. And their own is that they are linking up with the Southeast Governors Forum. So the question you asked me, how do we relate with the Southeast governors? Some other organization, Ohanaeze Ndigbo, is already doing that. So we shouldn't be seem to be in competition, but we will be in collaboration as it were.
That was
and then there's another setup. Sorry, let me finish this. There's another organization that is in the open that is equally thinking of what we are doing. It's called Association of Southeast Trade Unions, made up of all the president generals of the various towns. So those ones will have their own pie of the cake, because redeveloping an Igbo shouldn't be left with one organization. I'm actually thinking that we need tens of a similar Akuluouno organization with various names, so that it will be a mass attack. Akuluouno thinkum that I'm heading shouldn't do it all. We need tens and hundreds of similar organizations, so that everywhere you'll be hearing Akuluouno or a variant of the name. We need to develop an Igbo. Ndigbo needs to develop an Igbo. The governments cannot do it for us. We did it immediately after the Civil War. That's why Nnewi town is what it is now. So we have to do it. Every community has to key into this, our Akuluouno Thinkum Forum, or into the Ohanaeze one that is happening, or the Association of Southeast Trade Union, or any other variant that is coming out. We are not in competition. We are in collaboration. We should sparkle the Southeast, so that Southeast will be what it was when I was growing up. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. You've already touched on some of the, part of the question I was going to ask you next, which is, you've obviously have heard about the stabilization fund by Ohanaeze that was recently constituted by Chief John Nyenwodo, the PG General Ohanaeze Ndigbo worldwide. Now, my question to that would, again, is still, you spoke to him recently. What sort of collaboration are you going to be having with Ohanaeze? Because the stabilization fund is there. It's something, in my understanding, when I spoke to Chief John Nyenwodo last, is the same kind of concept of Akuluouno, where you will have sort of, bond, or people could actually invest in order for infrastructures to be built within the great Igbo nation. Now, the question once more is, thinking about it more, you've spoken to him, how do you think you can collaborate? Obviously, you've said it before, there is going to be multiple organizations getting involved, but Ohanaeze, as you know, is the central body that drives, central socio-cultural organization within the Southeast or within the Igbo nation. So the question is, how are you going to work with Ohanaeze?
Yeah, when I spoke with him about 3 weeks ago, actually I was speaking with him to come and join Akuluouno Forum, and possibly we make him a patron. But he did say to me, I hope I'm not divulging confidential information. He did say to me that if he joins us, he will be sanctioned by Ohanaeze. That the way to go is for us, Akuluouno Thinkum Forum, to first of all register with Ohanaeze.
Yes,
etc., etc. I bought the idea, and I told my forum, see the discussion I had with him, and he gave me the address, 7 something lane, Park Lane, 7 Park Lane, Enugu. But we cannot go to Ohanaeze and register now when we haven't registered with the Corporate Affairs Commission. So as soon as we register by next month, we've gotten a name, Akuluouno Thinkum Forum. The name has been reserved for us. But as soon as there's no objection to our registration and we get registered, we deploy one of us in Enugu, because we have people all over the world. One of us in Enugu will get there, get the form, and get registered. Then when we get registered with Ohanaeze, the game will be on. It will be for them to tell us what assistance they think Akuluouno will render to Ohanaeze, not the other way around. If it were an organization that is registering with us, which probably we will have, then it will be for us to tell them what we think, where we think they will be of assistance to us. So the ball is actually in Ohanaeze when we get registered. It's in Ohanaeze to tell us how we can assist them. And our membership, because it's Ndigbo people, I told you the other time that the who is in a forum, but I don't want to mention their names now because I don't like name dropping as it were. But they are people of high caliber. We have vice chancellors in our forum. We have former vice chancellors in our forum. We have two former ministers of power in our forum. We have a former immediate past president of Manufacturers Association of Nigeria in our forum. We have the who is who. So, but I don't want to start mentioning their names because some of them might feel bad. But when the time comes, when we get registered, the names will start dropping.
Okay. So thank you very much. Now, we will be winding up slightly. But before we do, I would want to once more maybe let our viewers have a taste of what we are talking about. You know, in your thinking, because as long as the Ohanaeze, sorry, as long as the Akuluouno, you know, think tank or Akuluouno forum, you know, is concerned, you encompass the whole idea. It was an idea you basically gave birth to. Now, what are those things? What, you know, when we talk about projects, for instance, what are the critical projects? What are the things you think people? Oh, I think we have connection issue there. I was about asking about the critical projects they are planning, you know, that they will be looking forward to. It doesn't necessarily mean that when these projects are mentioned, that they will be done now and here and now. But the issue here remains that out of the ideas that we generate when we speak to one another, that's how we could begin to see what, you know, they say the test of the pudding is in the eating. But before you begin to eat the pudding must be cooked. That is idea, you know, gestation. Ideas will be what they call in biology cross-pollination. Ideas, as Patrick Obiabo would, you know, in Benin would say, ideas or rough fights or barakboism of ideas. When ideas begin to, you know, cross-pollinate and ideas, people share ideas, regurgitate over them, you know, obviously, I'm waiting for him to come back so we take that on as well and see how far we go with the whole idea of think home philosophy. But I think you know, it's a fantastic thing that must happen within the Igbo nation. If the federal government has abandoned the Igbo nation, if the federal government has decided that nothing apparently is good to be cited, no federal project within the Southeast. Now, the Southeast must not abandon themselves. The Southeast must begin to get, you know, as we are doing now, begin to speak about it, begin to organize ourselves, you know, begin to get things done on our own. Because honestly, it's no longer time for blame. Blame game is gone. It is time we have to take our own destiny in our own hands, because no one, aside you and I, who are people, you know, people of great minds, the Southeast, the great Igbo nation is peopled by people of great mind, great achievers, people who are risk takers, people who are great achievers. So therefore, it is something that obviously, you know, we will be getting right, and we must get it right because it's all about the Igbo nation. It's all about how we develop the Igbo nation. I think the chief is back. Let me bring him back again. Okay, sorry about that. Your connection went off. My question to you was obviously, what are those projects you think we could do in order to make sure that this great idea of thinking home stay? You know, are there projects? I mean, are there things you know in your quiet moment that you're thinking, oh, if we're able to do this, if we're able to do this, then we know we are getting it right. Because as it is today, it will be a fallacy to say that the Igbo nation is not developing. No. But what we do is on individual basis. If you come to Anambra, for instance, you go to the hinterlands in every village. You're from Ozubu. You see people from South Africa, from America, from England. They all build mansions. They all build houses. But these are individual houses, individual homes. These are, oh, the network is kicked them out again. These are individual houses. It has nothing to do with our collective or industries. I think it's time we probably begin to look towards cottage industries and manufacturing industries. Those things the federal government is not doing to us are the things we must definitely be doing for ourselves. On that note, I think, you know, obviously his connection is still playing up. If, you know, we'll give it a couple of seconds. If it's not coming out, we are actually about to round up. But if his connection is still that bad, then we will be rounding up. Once more, like I said before, it was nice to have him. I had only one more question actually to ask him, because in one of his pieces that he wrote, he talked about government increasing tax net instead of government increasing the VAT. So also, I wanted to find out what his thinking is regarding, you know, increasing of tax net as opposed to increasing the value added tax. It's one thing I wanted him to clarify, but sadly, the network is playing up. You know, obviously, this conversation is not going to be a one-off conversation. The Think Home Forum, the Think Home philosophy, it's something that has come to stay. As the great Igbo nation, the great people we are, we must begin to collectively urinate in order to get a resounding form, as we say. On that note, I would once more say thank you very much for joining us this evening. I remain MaaziEzeoke, and thank you, and have a wonderful evening, and God bless you.